Hello, everyone. Today we have a special guest on the channel. He's going to be talking about his own Tinder experiences. He has been a free user of Tinder, he's used other dating apps, and he's also used a subscription package for Tinder. So he's going to give you guys a lot of insight on how Tinder works, how good it is, if it's worth paying for the subscription content. So honestly, this is quite a special video, so make sure you stick around and smash the like button because small YouTubers like me, we appreciate every single like. Every single like is noted. So make sure you hit that like button and also make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. And that being said, let's get on with the interview. So I'm joined here with Marcus. Marcus has been using Tinder for a little while now, and we're just going to ask him a couple of questions for his own personal experiences so that we can see if Tinder is actually a good app and how you can improve your own standing on Tinder. So, how you doing, Marcus? Can we get a little bit about yourself, what you do, what your brief experiences on Tinder, that kind of thing?
Yeah, sure. Hi. Yeah, I'm Marcus. Hi. Yeah, I've been on Tinder for a little bit. I got out of a relationship shortly just before lockdown. So my entire my entire kind of lifespan with Tinder has just been over lockdown. So I haven't really seen it before lockdown. So my perception of it maybe a little bit, I think a little bit warped probably because at the moment it's not really being used with how it's intended to be used, or at least how it was used before lockdown and for what people say that Tinder is. So I think I probably do have a different perception of it than a lot of people do have, but at least then I have a different take of it, I guess.
All right, so you actually kind of dipped into my other question, which was,
Sorry.
I mean, I can actually still ask it because your answer could be a little bit different. But how was your overall experience on Tinder?
I think it's a mixed bag, really. I think even during lockdown, the problems that persisted with Tinder do go through with lockdown. So, for example, the lack of substance, really, because yes, more and more people are on this app now for, I guess, well, at least they say they're looking for more stable relationships of such, but there's still not that connection you get when talking to people on the app. For example, a lot of the conversations, if you as the guy don't put 110% of the effort in, it just ends up dying out. It does seem to be quite one-sided. Obviously, I don't know what it's like on the other side. I don't know what it's like for the girls, but as a guy, there's a general stigma really that a lot of guys do say about the app, where it's like, oh, as a guy on Tinder, you're always on the back foot because you have to really put all the effort in. You're the one who messages first. You're the one who. I've had times where I've been talking to girls and the conversation's great, and I don't reply for a day because of work, and then they just don't want to reply back, and it's just like it just confuses me really, because it's like, well, if you want to talk to someone, why just then give up just because they don't reply straight away? I've been in a lot of situations, obviously outside Tinder as well, where that's happened, like in actual relationships where girls can be like that as well. But I think Tinder's to the point where it's just a little bit escalated in the sense of, cool, you're not giving 100% of your time to me, I'm just going to go to someone else who will. So yeah, that's kind of the general gist of how I feel towards it at the moment.
How many matches would you say you were getting per week on Tinder?
I mean, I think this is probably the good time to draw the line between matches and likes. I think I'm not the type of person who would just go on the app and say, hey, screw it, I'm gonna just like. I'm just gonna like whoever I see. I'd rather be a little bit pickier, I guess. So the ratio of like to matches is quite lower for me because I'd rather get ones who I think, oh cool, I'd actually want to be with this person, rather than, I'm I just do whatever I want to do. I just want to be whoever I want to be, So I think maybe weekly I probably get maybe, I don't know, 10, 12 matches, and then compared to likes, where I think monthly in likes I probably end up getting like 100 plus a month. A bit slower now because I've decided, like, I did have gold for a while, and just to see what exactly it was. Then I kind of just took a back burner. I was just like, well, it's not really worth the money. I'm still getting the same amount of matches as I did. I'm getting less likes, but because I'm not at the priority anymore. But it didn't really help with the specific girls that I want to match with. So now I don't have that. There's a significant drop in the amount of likes you get, but ironically, I don't think there's really been. I mean, there's been a little drop of matches, but I'm still on like maybe 6, 7 a week if I'm active on it, if I can be bothered to go on it, that is.
What was the difference in matches between your free versus your Tinder Gold account?
I think that the difference in matches, I think I noticed I think when I had gold, I think the algorithms kind of kicked in with, hey, we're gonna try and, especially when I first got gold, it was like, hey, like, we're gonna try and get the type of girls that you seem to like more. Like when I first got gold, like it was ridiculous. I was like, oh my god, like why what suddenly happened? I'm suddenly like, it's just ridiculous. Like I went on the app, and it was like over the space of the night, there was like 30, 40 little notifications on it. And I'm just like, okay, cool, things happen. Like, what is going on? And I think, but I also think that surge kind of died down even when I had the gold. Like at the start, it was definitely more than at the end. Maybe that's just due to running out of people, I guess. I don't know. But towards the end of it, there was definitely less value for money.
Yeah, because I have seen with Tinder Platinum, so I actually did research on the brand new thing, and it did boost them for a little bit, but then they just all went right back down again, back to the start, and they're still paying those astronomical like fees. Was it like, I think Tinder Platinum's like $32 a month?
It is ridiculous, and then at the same time, Tinder then has a little notification that says, "Hey, do you want 100% more? No, 100% more. It's something like, do you want to be 100% more noticed on the app? Hey, yeah, pay $60 for 3 hours, and you can be right at the top of the queue." And it's just like, why are they charging an extra $60 on top of the 30 odd dollars a month to get what you want? It just makes no sense to me. And I think what they're doing, especially during COVID, they're definitely capitalizing on the fact people can't go out, and they're capitalizing on the fact, like, almost like they're trapping people in, saying, hey, you know, nothing's going to happen to you unless you do this, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, just for the viewers watching, I believe you're referring to Boost, right?
Yeah, boost.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's interesting for sure. Um, so how do you think Tinder measure up versus other dating apps? Have you been on any other dating apps, and how
Yeah,
do they compare?
sorry. Yeah, I've used a few. I think it's a bit odd how, because the algorithms on the different apps are kind of a little bit different. I've noticed so I've used Bumble for a bit as well. Bumble's an odd one. You have to make sure that a lot of the photos you have are kind of not the same. They have to be a bit more diverse. That's predominantly due to the fact that, so on Bumble, it's a little bit role reversal as such. So it's the girls have to message first. That's the big draw to Bumble. So because they have the pick of, okay, I want to just choose who I'm going to be with, then you have to make sure that your profile is one of the better profiles. But there's also hidden algorithms that a lot of people don't know of. So for example, on Bumble, if you're the type of person who just sits there liking everybody, you actually get put towards the back burner for them, compared to other people who, actually think of who they're swiping on, which personally, I actually think that's a better thing to do, because if you're the type of person who's just going to be sitting there not caring what you're going to do, surely then, I mean, so nothing's going to be coming out of that. So at least it's almost rewarding the people who are being more thoughtful towards that aspect of who they're matching with. But as a whole, I think Bumble's definitely one of the better ones for me. I've tried what's it called? I've tried Hinge. Hinge is a weird one because I don't really know how that one works. I've probably had the least luck on Hinge compared to the rest because I don't know, because the type of people that are coming up on my Hinge, on the Hinge feed or whatever it's called, you know, they're a lot different to the people that would come up on Bumble, come up on Tinder, come up on anything else. And it's just, I don't think it's particularly my cup of tea there. And then the last one, really, I know I've gone through a few, but the last one, probably the newest one, which probably sounds like the saddest out of them all, but it's Facebook dating. So that's come up recently. And ironically, Facebook dating is probably the one where I've matched with the most on it. What I like about Facebook dating, though, is a lot of the people that come up, you see who your mutual friends are. So you're like, hey, I've got them on common, you can match with them, bring up, oh, hey, you know this, and it genuinely gives a conversation start. And then it also helps that the majority of people that have a profile on Facebook dating are there like, why is Facebook dating a thing? They're all kind of like, this is weird. This is kind of like, okay, does this make me really sad? Now I'm on Facebook dating. So, it's a kind of like a common ground there as well. So it's genuinely, I think it's genuinely the better one out of them all, and plus it's free. Like there's no gating there in any premium service, which is well, the obvious choice really for me, because it's like, why am I going to pay for all these other ones if I can just hop onto Facebook and get more matches there than the rest?
Moving back onto Tinder again.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. What is your advice for people who want to get matches, in terms of pictures to use and for their bio?
I personally think that pictures was probably going to be the more obvious sounding thing, but pictures are, I'd say 80% pictures, 20% bio. Picture wise, don't be like me, who when I first got it, I had a lot less confidence back then. So a lot of my photos were, just awkward selfies, same old photos. And that just does not work. What you need a variety of photos. You need some photos that sure, selfies are great, but photos of you out, things like that. And then I'd say as well, definitely smile in your photos, which again probably sounds obvious, but I've seen a lot of people on the dating apps or just complaining about them, just being like, oh, my photos are fine. They just do pulling some grumpy pose, and it's just like, well, if you look grumpy in your profile, how are you going to be coming across to the girls that look at you? Then with the bio, I think sure you can go in War and Peace and write in a massive backstory about yourself, but realistically, I don't think people are going to be reading that. I mean, personally, for me, if I see a girl with a massive long ass bio and I'm just like, this is nice, but I'm not going to take the time to read into this, I'd rather like a short, snappy one. Like even there's a joke one. A lot of the joke bios work as well, and don't be afraid to kind of put like a riskier joke there, because a lot of the time that does genuinely work, and like you'll match with someone and be like, oh my god, your bio, what have you done? And it does genuinely work.
So this could be more controversial, but you've been using the app for a little bit. What are some red flags people should be on the lookout for when swiping?
I mean, I tend to avoid the profiles that only have one photo, because I'm not too sure what's going on there, because you just see one photo and you think, hang on, is it because it's not an actual profile, it's a fake profile? And that also goes with too many photos as well, because if there's loads and loads of photos, then it could just be another bot account where it's just like, or someone like genuine catfishing, just finding a load of random photos online, sticking them all there. And a lot of them are just like, they don't make sense, they don't all fit there, they're just like random situations. Also, I think I tend to avoid as I mentioned before, like the longer the bios with the longer paragraphs, because a lot of them are like, don't do this if you're going to be doing this, don't do this, and like massive like capitalizing on things. And it's kind of like, I don't know, it just sets something off in me, like, okay, if you're going to be like this now before you're talking to someone, what's it going to be like when we actually talk to you? And then the ones that really don't make sense to me are the ones that literally say something like, yeah, I'm a little bit psycho, I'm a little bit this, I'm a little bit that. And I'm like, are you saying that as a joke? Are you saying that to warn me? Like, that I don't understand either.
There's some pretty good red flags you got there. How do you think this virus and lockdown has impacting Tinder? Have you managed to get any dates despite the virus, or has it become impossible?
I don't think it's impossible. I think now because it's easing a little bit, it is a lot easier. Towards the start, it was a lot of like, it was a lot more it was a lot more difficult to actually get a date, in the sense of everyone was meant to be isolating, everyone was meant to be more careful. So there was a lot of like more online situations there, where you'd have like a FaceTime, or you'd have a Zoom chat or whatever. Personally, I don't think that's for me. I think I prefer the face-to-face interaction. Even to the sense of dating in general, I prefer face-to-face. Like, I think the problem with the dating apps, the problem with like online dating in general, is it's disjointed in the sense of, yeah, he's talking to someone, but there's a barrier of, space between you. We don't actually see each other. You can't actually connect on that level. Sure, on camera, I guess, but it's not the same, really. It's not the same of going out, going to a bar, going to a pub with someone and just having some drinks and connecting over that. I think it does also put me off a little bit at the moment of the whole just dating in general, because it is a bit difficult in the respect of that, where it's just all has to be done online first. But I think it's also, it's a little bit odd for me, because I've come out of quite a long relationship, as you know. A little bit of back to, so 6 years I was in a relationship for, and then all through late teens to early 20s. So I never really got the whole dating scene. I was never really into that. I was just in a relationship. So to go from that to a global pandemic of having to try and do it all online and not actually in person is definitely, it's definitely hard, but I'm trying my best, really. I'm trying to get there with it.
What is your funniest moment you've experienced on the app or any dating app?
It's probably the just some of the pickup lines I get from people sometimes. Like, some of them are awful. Hang on, see if I can. I'll get some now. Hang on. I think some of it is matching with people that matching with people that you used to know and not realizing you used to know them, because you're there matching with them. I matched with a girl not realizing I went to school with them, and I was just talking to them, and then halfway through the conversation I realized who they were, with them realizing from the start who I was. So I kind of had to backtrack a little bit, being like, yeah. Do you remember this? Just throwing this out, pretending I knew what was going on. It didn't work. I think they definitely clocked on I didn't realize who they were. So I kind of backfired a little bit. I think I've also just had some really awful, just really cheesy pickup lines. And it's to the point where you just, when you cringe so hard, then it then does become funny. And you're just there like, okay, sure. Yeah, that's a great one. Cool. Yeah, I'll give you a 7 for effort there. And it's like, I don't know. I think I also know I also, on the back burner of the cheesy pickup lines, I once had a separate girl use the same pickup line I used on like another girl on the app, and I was there like, should I be impressed that it's being circulated around, or should I be horrified that other people are using the awful pickup line that I once used?
That kind of leads me to my final question. If you could give one piece of advice for people struggling on Tinder or people who are brand new to the app, what would be the biggest piece of advice you could offer them?
Honestly, just care less about what happens on it. I know myself, I put a lot of pressure on me to do my best, and if things don't go my way, a lot of the time I'm quite hard on myself because of that, but genuinely don't. At the end of the day, it's just an app. Just because you're not getting likes on the app doesn't mean you're any less of a person. Don't let it get to you, because who knows what's going to happen, down the line. You don't necessarily need a stupid app to just say, to validate you, to tell you, hey, girls actually like you, because at the end of the day, girls probably do. You just have to realize that, and you just got to realize that if girls don't like you on the app, well, a lot of that's just superficial anyway. If you want a meaningful relationship, if you want something meaningful, it's going to be people like you for you and who you are, regardless of any superficial part of it. So just genuinely don't stress about this app. Don't stress about dating apps. They're not the end of the world. And certainly don't end up paying stupid amounts of money just to feel that way as well.
Okay, well, that's a lovely way to end it. Thank you very much, Marcus, for your interview.
No
All of Marcus's links that he wants will be in the description down below, so be sure to check them out. And we'll hopefully get you back on here again in a week or time to talk about another aspect of your life. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on with Marcus, so be sure to check in on him on that. So guys, that was the interview. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you smash that like button, as I said at the start of the video. It really, really helps us small YouTubers out. If you guys want to come on the show one day, discuss your own things to do with fitness, mental health, and nutrition, floor is open. Just make sure you message me on one of my social links, which will be in the description down below. That being said, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.